So today I wanted to talk about something that I realize I haven't mentioned. Often people ask me, and they probably ask you, what are the big turning points in your life? What were the life-changing things that happened for you? And sometimes they're great things, and sometimes they're the most challenging things. And one of the ones that I realized I haven't really mentioned is that getting a divorce from my first husband was actually one of the very large turning points in my life, and it was a very difficult one. It took a lot, as it does for many people, to leave relationships behind that simply are no longer sustainable. And I would say I did my best with the tools that I had at the time to make that marriage work and to keep my family intact. And I wasn't able to accomplish that. And of course, it's a two-way street. But for my part, I wasn't able to um, have that relationship be something that was sustainable or healthy for me. And at a certain point, I had to make the choice to leave. I was very fortunate because I had support from my family to do that. And I had the potential for work at the time so that I could continue to make an income. And I live in a country where divorce for women is possible. So despite the difficulties and the extreme challenges of being a single mother and of moving into an identity that I never wanted. I never wanted to be a single mother. I never wanted to have a broken home. I never wanted to be a divorced woman. In fact, my whole identity was wrapped up in being a wife and mother and having a family. And so I had to make that choice to move into a great unknown, which was the painful part of getting a divorce. And the good part was that I had support to do it. And they were both true. And it was sort of like, however, setting sail on an open sea with no map and not even knowing what the destination was going to be. The reason why I bring this up, and it turned out to be a good thing. It turned out to be one of the best things I ever did, as painful as it was, and it was painful. It was very hard to be a single mother of three children. It was very hard to go through their adolescence by myself. However, the reason why I bring it up is because not only was it a good thing, but it was a life-changing thing, because I had to find a different anchor within myself from which to operate from. And that was something that happened over many, many years. And of course, that's something that will be happening as my growth pattern continues for the rest of my life. It's not anything that was completed. It was a journey that was begun, and it was a scary journey and an exciting journey. The reason why I bring it up in the context of what I've been talking about bringing America to therapy, is and to look at our family dynamics and our individual challenges and wounds and gifts through the lens of what I've learned from being a psychotherapist and looking at our country that way and looking at the human race and our behaviors with each other that way. The reason why I bring it up is because divorce was possible for me. I do live in a country where women can leave their marriages, and that's not true for people all over the world. But what's also not true is that while I had the opportunity to leave something that was unsustainable and emotionally unhealthy for me, we don't have the choice to leave the human race. We don't have the choice to leave this earth. And so our choice is to either go on the way we've been, which is with our opposition and our fights and our conflicts and our wars, and our best efforts to heal our human relations. So those are our choices. We can either continue what we've been doing in terms of the escalation of discrimination and hatred and violence, or we can actually really commit as individuals, as a country, and as a human race to healing what's unsustainable. And what we're doing is unsustainable. The possibility of nuclear war is unsustainable. And to keep investing in weapons of mass destruction makes no logical sense. And yet we keep doing it, just like couples who stay together and keep on fighting and tear their families apart, and their children suffer the fallout of unresolved conflict and emotional violence and hostility and hostile dependency, which is the condition that we're in a lot of ways in our country and in the world. We need each other, but we're hostile to each other. And so I just want to bring that to the forefront. Like, the divorce is not really a possibility from our country or from the world or from the human race. And so the best choice is actually to devote all our resources and all our time and all our energy and all our expertise to working it out with each other. And that's the reason why I wrote my book, America in Therapy. And that's why I'm sharing this with you today.